This last one is not a letter to me. This is a letter to the editor in our local paper by a state representative here in Montana. You might have already read it in the Daily Interlake. If you missed it, I want to read it for you because it's outstanding. His name is John Fuller. He is a state rep here in Kalispell, Montana. His letter to all of us. A pastor once told me that, quote, every generation has a 100% mortality rate, close quote. The current, quote, pandemic can be used to illustrate societal problems more destructive than disease. How Americans view the role of government in their lives and their belief that government can fix anything, including their mortality, demonstrates the madness that inflicts people when they become impressed with some delusion and run after it. The present response to the coronavirus has led to panic that has traded rational responses for irrational reactions. Acting upon incomplete and probably inaccurate information, our government has embarked upon a spending spree in enforcement of the liberties, encroachment on the liberties of Americans of massive proportions. Logic would dictate that from now on, every flu season, our economy must shut down and the government print, thereby inflating more money and spend it on non-productive transfers. The sphere of liberty shrinks as the size of government grows.
Amen.
The current response to Chinese flu, in quotes, has led to policies unheard of in American history with yet unknown consequences. When people believe the government can cure anything, they are exhibiting symptoms of a disease far more serious than COVID-19. Amen to that. In slightly more than 200 years, Americans have moved away from self-reliance toward government dependence. Our history has been one of people demanding and expecting the government to leave them alone. Now people are requiring the government to take care of them, but at what cost? Being told that 1 million Montanans are under house arrest and that every non-essential, in quotes, business must close its doors is an irrational response to save the lives of a few. The logic displayed during the current pandemic, in quotes, would necessitate that nothing ever be allowed that would put more than 1% of a given population at risk. So, driving cars must be banned. No American lives can be risked defending freedom, and high cholesterol foods must be taken off the shelves. The assumption that the government can and should take care of your needs is a subtle destroyer of the American spirit. Such a childlike attitude changes how people prepare for the future and erodes the resilience of people to deal with a crisis. Who will rescue us from our rescuers? We did not vote on the shelter-in-place dictum. We did not vote on the shutdown of all non-essential, quote-unquote, businesses. Hysteria leads to a dismissal of the factual. And the factual analysis of this current Wuhan flu, in quotes, is that many of the policies enacted here in Montana are irrational and insulting. Does anyone believe that the vulnerable, in quotes, such as this mid-70s old man, are incapable of taking appropriate precautions on their own without the governor destroying the livelihoods of all of our fellow Montanans? Does anyone really expect now that a governor has assumed the power to decide who is essential or not, that future governors will not expand on such policies? Increasing dependence on government and passively accepting that some elite, quote, somewhere knows best about our welfare is much more dangerous than the Wuhan virus. The natural desire to be safe, in quotes, often suppresses the need to be free. But abandoning one's own responsibility to provide for their own safety will result in government tyranny. And you will still die.
Yep. We're still all gonna die. Strip us of our freedom, but we're still gonna die.
State Representative John Fuller, and I just might inform you that, as you can imagine, Representative Fuller has received unbelievable amounts of hate mail. Unbelievable amounts of
because he
hate
speaks the truth.
mail. I don't have his info. It's not hard to find. I'm asking all of you to take time, get his email address, get his phone number, contact him in some way.
That's it,
however you
folks.
can.
I think
Again,
that
his
was
name
enough
is
for
John.
you all to hear. Think about it. Let it sink in. Because we're at a point in history that we've never seen before over a flu.